Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. I thought I would bring you one last Boss Up Books episode before we close out this year. Over the past month or so, I have been listening to Think Again by Adam Grant. I listened once and decided to re-listen to this book because it really is the first book in a long time that made me challenge my own thoughts in many ways. He opens the book with the quote I mentioned at the start of this episode and went on to talk about how we should all think like scientists. However, most of us think like preachers, prosecutors, or politicians. As preachers, we tend to argue our thoughts or opinions in an arrogant or pompous manner, especially if we feel like our beliefs and thoughts are in question. As a prosecutor, we aim to win our case through debate, focusing on proving others wrong. And as a politician, we seek to win over an audience and appease our constituents. But a scientist? Well, a scientist looks at the facts, uses the available data. They doubt what they think they know. They run experiments and rethink. This struck me because definitely when it comes to certain things, like politics, for example, I am definitely a preacher. I think I am right and can't even begin or even try to begin to understand an opposite viewpoint. However, think about how much better our world could be if we didn't get so set in our ways and thinking that our ways are the right and only way to do something. In addition, while reading this book, I took so much value away as a business owner. And the top 5 things that resonated with me most are 1, develop a habit of having your own second opinion. Now, many of us know if you're diagnosed with something pretty serious when it comes to medical conditions, sometimes people will say, get a second opinion. Well, in this case, Adam means even if you have established a process or you've made up your mind, try to get a different perspective and rethink the decision. Rethink your own assumptions, your actual own decision. That does not mean doubt yourself, but think like a scientist and ask if there is perhaps another hypothesis or another conclusion. Number 2, have or create a challenge network. Now, this is a term I had never heard of before, but I really loved where he went with this. He specifically discussed task conflict versus relationship conflict. In a work setting, you can debate around task, but when the relationship is more of an issue, it is not likely to end up with the best results. However, when the debate among colleagues is around the task to be done, parties will typically land on an even better outcome. Here, he tells the story of the 2 creators of the movie The Incredibles going head to head on a number of occasions around every detail of the characters, down to their hair. A challenge network is a group of people that you may choose to give you feedback on projects. You trust that they are there for the greater good of you and the project. They are the opposite of yes men or yes women. And thirdly, and I love this one, we learn more from people who challenge us than from people who don't or those that affirm our conclusions. This is so good. In the book, Adam discusses blues musician Daryl Davis reaching out to KKK members and starting a dialogue. This part of the book alone is enough for you to pick it up and give it a read. The questions Daryl asked of these KKK members and his candid conversations with them caused many of them to rethink their judgment and biases around color. Since Daryl began his work, he has persuaded over 200 KKK members to leave the organization. My 4th takeaway was stop asking kids what they want to major in. So Adam references Michelle Obama and her thoughts around asking kids what they want to be when they grow up, as if there's only one thing that they can be. I love this. I have always had the thought for many years, why do we have the expectation of an 18-year-old to decide on a college major and to stick with it? I can remember the pressure I felt around determining a major in high school. I could barely determine what I wanted to wear to the senior prom, but I was expected to declare a major and stick with it at such a young age. And for those people who have it figured out that young, that is amazing. I truly admire that, but I just don't think it makes sense for that to be the expectation at 18. And I already know that I plan on having my kids think about this very differently than I did some years ago. And lastly, if I had to put this book into one simple word, it would be rethink. It does not hurt to rethink things. We do not have to feel bad about rethinking where we are currently, rethinking the products or services we offer in our business, rethinking where we live, how we dress, really anything. Who knows, the conclusion may remain the same, or the outcome could be even better. But to give ourselves permission to rethink, to think again, as the book is called, is truly progress. And it truly allows us to make big moves and big changes. I strongly recommend you check out this book for yourself. Adam provides so many stories, data, and research projects throughout, and I was only able to share just a few here. You can check out the show notes for the link to grab Adam's book. Well, this is it. Only a day or so left in 2022, and we will be moving on to 2023. I hope you had a chance to check out episode 134 from last week and complete your visioning exercise to get you ramped up and ready for 2023. So you truly accomplish all you want to get done. There are a couple of freebies that I think will also help your business in 2023. If you haven't gotten them already, see the show notes for all the details. But there is the Trifecta Workbook at trifectagroupcoaching.com. I'm telling you sincerely that this workbook will help you think about aspects of your business that will only help propel you, or we like to say catapult you forward. You can also bounce over to my website, monicaallen.com, to join the Become Your Own Boss community. One of my goals for 2023 is to make this community one that is supportive of business owners, and not just me supporting you, but all of us connecting and supporting each other. I know that my business grew substantially when I found an entrepreneurial community. I want the Become Your Own Boss community to be that for you and your business. As always, I am grateful for you. You can follow me on IG, TikTok, and YouTube at Become Your Own Boss Podcast. I hope and pray that you have an amazing New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. I will see you in 2023, and we will continue to level up, leave a legacy, and become our own boss.